So you all remember my good friend Raquel. She has been on this channel a few times, back when my husband and I went with them as a couple to Turks and Caicos. Also, when I first launched Mama Java, her and I went together down to the Dominican Republic to visit a coffee farm. We had a fun chat in the car. She showed up in videos here and there. She used to have her own YouTube channel, and one of the top comments on a recent video that I made, actually a few months back, when she showed up in it, was how much people miss her being on YouTube. So she quit YouTube. Anyway, she came over and we decided to bring the cameras along and have a chat in our living room. And today we tackled the subject of hosting, what makes a good host, some things that she does, some of the anxieties to overcome, like why do we feel like we need to have a perfect presentation, a perfect house. We talked some about communication skills, how do we go about teaching our children. And basically we're just conversing back and forth, asking questions and just sort of working through some of that. And we invite you along for the conversation. Quick disclaimer, I could have cried after I looked at the footage. I had little mics that we were both using so that you could clearly hear us. And by mishap, I didn't have it plugged in correctly to my camera. So the audio is not very good in these videos. I apologize, there's echoing. Sometimes you hear a lot of background noise. I'm so sorry, but we can't really do a retake. So come join us in the living room among the chaos of motherhood. Welcome. My good friend Rocky's here.
Hey.
We have two cameras. We don't have another.
I don't know where to look, honestly. I have no idea where to look.
The children are in the background,
Yeah.
hopefully.
You'll definitely be hearing from them as well.
This is Mom Life. Welcome to the living room.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about hosting.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite things about hosting? Like, you love having people over, or not necessarily? Do you have to force yourself to do it?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
So it depends who it is. If it's somebody that I'm super comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
I know the conversation is going to be great. Like, I have people over for conversations, honestly.
Right.
Like, that's a big drive of me having. It's just like, I want to talk to adults. You know?
Right.
But I find it so hard to have people over that I'm scared the conversation's not going to go well. Like,
Mhm.
you know, maybe I don't know them that well, and then I invite somebody else over to. I honestly have to, like, make sure that these people can have something in common or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I really
strategically
invite. Because when it talks about hospitality, like in the Bible, it talks about hospitality can be your friends, but I think it's more just people you don't really. It's like
Right.
strangers and people from your church that you're not really that close with or whatever, and just other people.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to, especially. I'm a foodie, but I don't really enjoy cooking.
Mm-hmm.
But if I know, like, I'm inviting people over that enjoy Belizean cooking, because that's what I do a lot of it. I'm very much of an Americanized Belizean cook, but at this point, I love cooking for people that I know will love my food.
Right.
If they don't like, you know, rice and beans, or you don't like spice, but if I have to, like, really be careful about what I serve them, it takes immediately the joy out of the food part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But our house is really, really tiny, and so our kitchen and living room, our, like, dining room, we don't have a kitchen where, anyway, more of the story is that it's small. Mm-hmm. So we do a lot of summertime hosting, and I've just found that if I have a menu that I can repeat, like, we have people over once a week or maybe twice a month or whatever.
Okay.
If I can just have the same menu, genuinely the same stinking menu all summer long, it makes it so much easier for us. And a big part of that is having something on the grill.
Yeah. That's really smart, because a lot of the time I find myself doing similar. Like, you think, okay, I made this last time. I shouldn't repeat this. That's stupid. But why? Because you're having new guests.
Yeah.
Or even if you don't, like, who cares? Who cares?
No one's going to remember. Another thing is just, like, having people over Sunday evenings. I remember when, like, when Patrick was really little, I wanted to have people over, but it stressed me out. Because cooking just kind of does stress me out.
Right, same.
But it's just, like, a Sunday evening thing. Like, hey, come over. Clarify that it's not for supper.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing, is you show up somewhere and you think it's for supper and it's not, and you're hangry. But, like, lattes and cinnamon rolls, how easy is that? Like, you make the cinnamon rolls the day before, or prep the dough or whatever. If you want to have them fresh, you can have them bake them right before they come. But you don't even have to do that. You know what I mean? Make them the day before if you want. And say, hey, you want to come over for clarify, latte, cinnamon rolls, easy.
Yes.
And something so small like that, but you can do it 10 times and you're not. At least I wasn't really sick of it, because it's hospitality, but with ease.
Yes. Love that.
And I really enjoy having like a bunch of people over, and especially if the conversations are good. Like I live on good conversations. Like I love that. It makes me just, and I also just don't clean my, I always used to be like how everything had to be perfect, like clean my house and everything. But with children, and even just like realizing how dirty your floors get the moment people come over.
Right.
Like I want my bathrooms to be clean.
Right.
And I want it to look tidy. But like my floors are not scrubbed like they used to be. Like I used to just have them, everything so perfectly clean. And now I'm like, no, that's so stupid. It gets dirty immediately. Like immediately.
Yeah.
After you have 15 people and you're stomping around in your house, or 25 or whatever. And so like that's one tip. I said, like, forget the floors.
Yeah.
Like maybe do a sweeping.
I'm curious, like when you clean your house, like what's your schedule? Do you do the traditional full house clean once a week?
It has changed a couple of times, like majorly. I used to be able to do it all at once. Then I would do this. I was very strict about my Monday. I clean my floors. Tuesday, Wednesday I do this. Now I clean on Saturday when Troy will help watch the kids. Like he takes them outside.
Okay.
And that's the time that I get my stuff done, cleaning house-wise, or bit by bit throughout the week. But I find that if I can do it like on Saturday and we're hosting people, Sunday is perfect.
Right.
You know, but it's so often that I don't have the entire house clean at the same time.
Yeah.
Like as long as everything's tidy. I'm much more of like tidy than clean.
Yeah.
Although I don't like hairy or gross anything.
Right.
But like,
Exactly.
I'm more particular about things being organized and tidy than clean.
Do you struggle with people, like how people perceive you? I think everyone does to different levels.
Right.
Like I feel I excel in different areas, and then housekeeping, I enjoy it, but then I immediately feel like that's, like within our culture especially, that's sort of a woman's value. How well she cooks, how well she keeps house.
Unfortunately, the cooking thing,
Same.
I wouldn't say value, but that's sort of your role. And I don't think it's a bad thing.
Right.
Because I'm a very big believer in roles. Gender roles.
Yeah. That's just because you should do it doesn't mean you're naturally gifted at it.
Right.
That's me.
Yeah, but yet there's this internal thing like, okay, so I can do well with my coffee business, whatever, and I just thrive on that. Like if no one's like, hey, what do you want to do for down? Like you need to go do something for you. I'm like, just let me work at my coffee business or let me work in whatever. Like that is my refreshing time.
You're very much of an entrepreneur too.
I love it.
Yes.
But to me, that is the fun.
Okay.
And people might look at that and say, she started a business. I don't know. I'm just saying. But to me, I value that very low because that's what I enjoy. So that's my gift time. And so, like, to me, I want to be a good housekeeper. I want to be a good mother. I want to be a good cook. All these things.
Yes.
And I struggle so much in that. And maybe that's why I feel more intimidated by that. Just the food part is a big part. Like, what if it doesn't turn out? Conversation as well. What if conversations don't go well? I can so quickly get in my own head. And then you don't have people. And that's not even why people come over. So, like, how do you break past that barrier?
I think that a lot of people just want to be invited over and feel like welcomed and stuff. But I struggle with that too. Like, I mean, I have one person that we invite over sometimes that just almost sends me into like a panic every time.
Is it me? You still have to.
And I think also like it is a muscle you have to just exercise is inviting people over, and it gets easier.
It does.
Easier.
You're right.
Yeah. And there's some seasons of life that are just going to be really hard, and it's just like you be easy on yourself too, as far as like you just had a baby or very uncomfortable or whatever it is. Like you don't have to always be having people over, like inviting. There's definitely times where I just like take a huge break.
Right.
That actually brings up one other thing that we've been talking about some as church ladies is stop apologizing.
For your home.
For your house or for your food or for whatever. And that's something I've been really working on because it makes other people uncomfortable. And it's a pride, I think it's kind of a pride thing maybe, or a self-conscious thing.
It screams insecurity. Yeah.
And of course there's some times that you need to apologize for something, but if you're just like, oh, sorry about the mess or sorry, it's just like, you know what, just leave it go and be confident, and that is more inviting.
It's hard to do though.
It is so hard. It's a habit I'm trying hard to break. I think I'm getting
to my
better,
house in the middle of the day sometime when these kids have absolutely just crabbed stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
And my humble pill just, I mean, I just have to take my humble pie and eat it because it is, but then I'm like, you know what, kids live here.
Yeah.
This is clearly not my mess right now. Like,
Right.
they did
Exactly.
that. And then I'll clean it up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, it's just life. Hey.
I can grab it.
Actually, one of Nolan and I's goals this year is that we sit out this month. We haven't gotten to it yet, but sit down ahead of time and say, let's plan out our month, like very basic, and be like, okay, we want to have one family from church over or whatever, what weekend, and then also we want to make sure we see my family, because it's amazing how time just flies by, and then suddenly like I didn't even stop in to see my folks.
Yeah,
they're getting older, and so it does help relieve. Are they okay?
they are fine, I think.
So the next question I guess I have is, do you have anything that you like to do? Let's just say you're having overnight company.
Yes.
Maybe it's not family, and you want to make them feel extra special, or
Right.
even not. Like, what are some things that you would feel?
I just keep fighting. He's fighting his nap time. He wants. I mean, he is. I'm trying to push it back as long as possible. What was your question?
What are some ways that you make things special, or like that you think of going the extra mile to make someone feel really at home? Are there any little things you do?
One thing that I started doing ever since we went to someone's house and they do this
Okay.
is like a basket of amenities. Am I
Okay.
saying that word right? Just like toothbrushes, shampoo, a pad, whatever.
And you set that on the bed.
I always have that ready. And then I always have like towels that I used to use just for guests because they're
Okay.
like nice, thick, plush, white towels that my kids would stain. You know,
Yeah.
so I always have some towels. And then bottles of water. And then like fresh fruit, like orange, like those little oranges or whatever.
And you leave that sitting out in your kitchen, or you put that
I leave
in the
that sitting
bedroom?
out in their bedroom.
Oh, nice.
Because water bottle, you're also sick and
Right.
thirsty, especially if you come in late or whatever.
Right.
Having like 6 water bottles there,
Right.
snacks and like string cheese and like oranges,
Yeah.
like little tangerines all set beside their bed with like the amenities, whatever, all kinds of stuff that I think they might forget.
Love it.
That's the only thing I do really.
That's super special. It's almost like an Airbnb. Like here you.
It's special, but it's kind of easy.
Right.
You know, you can have the water bottle sitting for a
And
while
it's
or whatever.
thoughtful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Sometimes I'll do chocolate if it's just like a female,
Mhm.
like traveling. Like I'll just like a big hunk of chocolate or something. But it's to me it's like doable. It's like everything's from Aldi. I'm just quickly grabbing. It's
Right.
not like I have to go way out of my way.
Yeah.
And yet it's kind of special. Like it's kind of it's hospitable.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Do you like if someone comes in your house? Do you feel like you should immediately offer them something to drink?
Yes.
Okay, so do
That's just
you,
a Belizean thing. I think.
yeah. Do you do
That's
water?
not
Do
just-
you have tea? I heard someone. Okay, so when I was down in Florida, there was a conference and one lady spoke on this.
Yeah.
I was just amazed. She was talking to about simplicity, all the things. But yeah, the thing of offering, she said, you don't ask if they want tea. You just say, I have tea, I have coffee, I have water. What can I
Oh,
get you?
yeah.
Or something like that. Instead of so that they're like, no, we're fine. Don't want to inconvenience you. And I thought that was a really good tip.
Yeah. I love that.
Although
I know Belize is like even your workers. Like if someone's coming, like a plumber, you always offer them lunch if it's over lunchtime, or a snack, or a drink. Like you're always buying them a Coke. That's just part of like the more southern thing.
I just remember when we went down to visit Natalie in Guatemala.
Oh yeah.
They did that. There was tea, cold tea. We all drank. We all got deathly
So
sick.
I remember you talking
Everybody
about
was
that.
sick. And it was hitting us all at different
water,
times.
probably
Yeah, it was the
water.
water. Because I don't think it was hot. I don't think they had, and we knew we weren't supposed to, but we thought this one was fine.
You know, like you're not going to be rude. That's the tricky part. Is like
Yeah.
not wanting to be rude, but yet, yeah.
Conversations, how do you keep conversations going? You're good at that.
I think that it just comes with growing up in Belize, and like my parents had people over constantly, and we were drug out, and we had to go say hi to people,
Yeah.
whether we knew them or not. It was always strangers. It was like it was a unbelievable flood of people coming through all the time.
You.
But I think that has made all of my family are very easy talking to. Like we can talk to anybody, and I think that that's not even.
You have friends everywhere. I went flying with you to the DR. We're in the airport. Someone comes trotting up to Rocky. Oh, you know this person, this person. Everywhere you go.
It's crazy though, like the amount of people we've had to learn
Yeah.
to talk to, and that is a skill. I mean, that is a skill. A lot of
It
people,
is a skill.
as in like skill, as in not like I'm that great at it, but it is
You
a
are,
life
though.
skill that I would love to teach my kids.
Yes.
And she's really shy, and I was like want to teach her how to have conversations. But I think there's like conversation cards, or even like quickly Googling.
Yeah.
What are good conversation topics when the conversation starts like dying?
Yes.
Like what to ask people. People often like to talk about themselves.
Yes.
And so that is something like if you shoot, like it is hard sometimes. And they're like, yes, No, you'd ask them something.
I've met people like that.
Yes.
That you literally, everything is a
I
dead
don't
end
know.
conversation.
I'm like, just want to crawl under the table.
That is my biggest stress factor. If someone does not pick up and help you with a conversation.
Yeah. And sometimes they actually don't know how.
Yeah.
Either.
That's true.
But sometimes they're just
Or
like
they're very shy.
Or just, they're really. But yeah, having like even a few topics ahead of time. Like I have even done the thing. This sounds so cheesy, but if I don't know the person well and I'm going for there, maybe for a weekend or like I'm just having to hang out with people I don't know for a while, I will genuinely write down things that I could possibly talk about. Like
Good for you.
I have done it. I should say, where I'm like, okay, I should bring up like this is kind of an interesting question. I should bring up that.
You do really well. And I want to just compliment you in this part.
Thanks. On what?
You're one of my favorite people to hang out with. Conversationally, just everything. Like, I'm not a shopper. I know we don't really go shopping or whatever. It's just not my thing.
We do 0 activities. Besides, we've traveled some.
You do so well at taking an interest in people
Okay.
and what they like. And I'm struggling with this. Like, let's just say teaching. Maybe you can give me some tips here. Teaching my son. And I'm not sure if this is a healthy perspective or not, so you can correct me. But I feel like a lot of my life I have gone through like that my interests are not the interests of other people.
You're just out of the box.
Yeah, I am out of
Since
the
you were a
box.
kid, you were like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Interesting.
I was a tomboy. My dad had me out in the fields. My sister did all the
I
housework.
saw a video of you driving this big machine, like some sort of massive machinery that I don't even know how to drive.
Where did you see this video?
I don't know what you were even doing out in a field with one of your kids.
Okay, I don't remember this.
Like last summer.
Okay.
You were doing it. Anyway,
I
was
can't
just
remember. Oh, was it the skid loader with the bales?
Yeah, I think so. I don't even know what it's called, much less.
Yeah, I can back a tractor trailer truck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so
Yeah, could not ever.
it's okay. It's
Yeah,
perfectly fine. But I'm out of the box, and I'm not apologizing for it.
It's okay,
But
yeah.
I feel like the older I get, the more I just take this mentality. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about what I'm interested in. So if I want friends, and it's just true, if you want friends, you need to be friendly, but you need to take an interest in other people. And so when I hang out with
it's
other
very
people,
one-sided.
it feels
Always
that way.
their conversations.
They just do not connect, and it's just like they go from engaged to like nothing. And so I've just learned to shut up.
Hate that feeling.
I do too, and I'm just like, why would I even talk about it? I've been trying to decide if I need to teach my son that or not. Like, you can talk about your things, but just try to not brag.
Don't be obnoxious.
Yes, don't be obnoxious. Because he is so passionate about life. And
Don't
if he's,
stifle that, though.
I know. And I love that, but he can, okay, so right now, for instance, this is a little bit side topic, but he loves facts.
Okay.
And he can memorize facts, so he's dyslexic, but there's something about pictures and animals, it just, they register with him. And so I'm just perceiving, I don't know if this is true, but he made a friend at school, and he came home the other day, and he was very sad, because his friend is always saying, no, that's not how it is, that's not true, and starting to really become, and I'm like, you know what, maybe Xander, maybe you're becoming too assertive and saying, hey, I know this, and I know that, and I know that, and the other person is feeling like you think you're smarter than they are, and now they're like rising up, and like, this is just issues with raising kids, I guess. But I'm trying to teach him that you need to ask questions about their life and not just always talk about what you know and something and then add, like, don't interrupt and ask questions. And if you have a lot of fun things that just happen, you don't just have to talk about that all the time. And I'm just not sure how to communicate that because, yeah, my perception is you just shut up about yourself and ask questions about other people.
No, I don't think that's completely accurate. You do not have to shut up all the way.
Yeah.
But conversation is like playing with a ball.
Right.
You bounce a ball and they bounce it back. So you ask a question and then they ask one back. That is how. And there's like a really good book. I'll link it. I'll send you a link that I've heard somebody else talk about when they teach their family just a quick minute or two around the table. And it's about how to have conversations with people. They're like homeschooled, so they don't get out as much or whatever.
Right.
And they are. I've met these kids.
Okay.
And they are such
Of course you
good
have.
conversationalists. Because I know them.
Okay.
They're such good conversationalists.
Yeah.
And that was such effort on the mom's part.
I would love it.
Yes.
Send me the link.
And it's like how to ask interesting questions. And yeah. So
and when
maybe
would you start teaching this? I guess it's
This
Xander's
is
age?
Or
Or is it a little bit older?
No, well, she has some older children, but it was like second. I don't know. Is Xander in like first or second grade?
He's in second.
Second grade. Yeah, he was like second grade up. That
Yeah.
wouldn't be too hard for him. It's just a book that I wanted to buy because I was like, okay, that's great. Like that's
What's it called? Just for reference, do you know?
I don't. I want to say Candid Conversations, but I don't think it's quite right.
Okay.
But it's like Christian based, but it's not. I don't know. I just think it's a book full of how to teach your kids good questions and good how. I don't think that's super healthy. It's just always stuff down what you're.
Yeah, I agree with
whatever.
you. And I feel like that's.
But maybe read the room, because you could also be like, you don't want to share things with people that aren't going to be happy for.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have to be careful who you share your wins with, or not even like wins, but like if you're really excited about something, it's so deflating to have them just like, ugh, you know what I mean? So I think you might have to. There's some people I just don't have things to talk about stuff with, right? And so I think you do have to know. I think a true friend will be excited because you're excited about it, even if they don't care at all.
I agree with you on that.
But maybe they struggle underlying with like jealousy, or just like, man, I could never do that. I don't even maybe want to do that. But like, that's so much more interesting than my life. Or maybe they just feel it makes them. It could be 100% not your problem. Like it could also just be their problem. Like I mean, like an insecurity or whatever. Some raises from like some insecurity. But I also think that you do have to be careful with not being like, oh, you guys just went to Mexico? Oh, well, I'm going to England, type of thing.
Right.
Like Mexico, like that kind of thing.
She's like, going to England. I don't think we mentioned it on here.
That's not the point. I'm just making a point. Like, don't.
I know, that's why you brought up England.
Don't over.
Compensate, like, just because the conversation steers and it brings you into that, you suddenly counteract it with something. I agree with you. Like, just maybe drop it. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I feel like I have maybe swung too much to the side of just, I want to make sure that they feel safe around me. I don't want to make them feel intimidated with whatever I enjoy. So I tend to...
and that's a kind thing.
Yeah, but still, then it just leaves you feeling like you're never really at a friend. Like, you just wonder, are they really my friends or aren't they? Like, do they really care or don't they? Kind of, sometimes. Like, I'm just trying to navigate this thing of life, just because. Yeah.
I think that's a kind of a unique problem. Right?
To me.
To you.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because I think, what's crazy, Janine, is if you were a guy, you would not have this problem. Right?
Tell me more.
No, but genuinely, right?
I don't think so,
because in our Mennonite cultures, we're kind of cookie cutter a little bit.
Yeah.
We have accepted things to like accepted things to be interested in.
Right.
Sort of. Right.
Yes.
Like for example, this is not across the board. I have female cousins that are pilots. Yeah. But like if a female was interested in flying, it'd be a little bit. Just a little example. Like if my son was into flying, wanted to become a pilot.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, cool.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
But then if my daughter was, I think, because it runs in my family, I'd be okay with it. I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But also, like, that's not everybody would be like that.
Very small percentage. I actually shot at a wedding. I was a photographer at a wedding where a girl was a pilot.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
I was just like mesmerized.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I just think, because that's actually a dream of mine.
Really? Did not know
Like,
that.
I'm like, you know what? Once the children are gone, what am I going to do? Let's like try something new, become a pilot. Let's go fly for some mission.
I could see you doing it.
Anyway, so it's a good point. And so it probably is a unique thing to me. And so I'm just trying, like, how do I navigate? Let's just say some of my children walk in the same path. I value our culture. I love our culture.
Right.
And I'm not downing it. It's just finding my way through it. And I feel I feel extremely loved and safe in my church community. And I love that. Like, they just accept me for who I am. They take an interest in my life. And
that's great.
Yeah, I love them.
Whether they understand
so much
that or not, they'll just be interested. Yes.
Very much. And also we connect, that's another thing, we connect deeply spiritually. And so that's a connection that everyone talks about real problems, and when we dive deep and we talk about hard issues, and that just really connects us.
I think I'm a little weird too, though, with, like, I think I'm a little bit unique, as in, not like special, but like,
you are unique.
I just kind of don't care, I guess, enough to, like, I might be the weird one, and I'm like, I brought something up that's hard for you to talk about, I'm sorry, but it's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And that's why I love being in a crowd with you. It's usually conversation goes well and interesting ways.
Between us, we're like, we don't even stop talking ever.
Yeah. But that is one place that you can connect across the board. I feel like a lot of people do open up more and have a lot of issues that they're dealing with that it's hard for them to open up until someone is vulnerable enough to like bring it up first.
And like not be the perfect. Like don't look perfect and
Yes.
don't perceive yourself. Don't fake or not.
Yes.
Don't act like you have everything together. I think it really helps. But then even sometimes asking really good questions and knowing what those good questions, I mean,
Yeah, that's an art.
asking good questions is such an art. Yes.
It is.
And then listening and because some people genuinely, they might be so quiet and whatever, but they no one has ever asked them that before, and it's like, oh, this is actually,
This makes me think.
yeah, it makes me think.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. So basically, to summarize it all, being a good host comes down to, you don't have to be the best cook, but just figuring out something simple, something that you're comfortable with.
Yes.
Don't worry about your house. Just have it inviting as much as you can.
Yeah. Have it
Be a
smell
good, figure out how to be a good conversationalist.
That's probably the hardest one, actually.
Yeah.
And it's so, like, moving to a new community, almost all of my friends, I think you probably reached out to me first.
Okay.
99% of my friends, I reached out to first.
Really?
Because I was brand
Yeah.
new. Like, I did not know anybody well besides my husband moving into
Had to be
a
a
new
huge
community.
adjustment.
And so every single friendship that I have, I think it was, I had to, because otherwise I would have no friends.
Yeah. And you have to in this PA culture because everyone lives their little lives in their little boxes.
You have to be a
and
little bit harder. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little bit. And sometimes it's trial and error. Like, it's actually not a good fit after all, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
okay.
You have a lot of friends, and I commend you for it. Anyway, well, thanks a lot. Anything else you want to add to the whole hosting thing?
Can you
This was
use it?
interesting. Yeah, I can. You're still at the edge.
Okay.
So, and my batteries are dying. So we had been rolling for a while.
I'm definitely, with hosting, I have so much to learn. And I'm not actually that good at it, I don't think. But I'm trying. I'm
Yeah.
desperately trying to make it something I'm comfortable doing, you know, with whatever crowd, with whatever, everything.
Yeah.
But it's not something, I don't think I'm just like the most hospitable person ever. I don't think I am.
You do very well.
Maybe because we know each other and it's easy to have you over. You know, you only see me when it's like you and you know, some friends or whatever. But I just like
I don't really see you as struggling though with conversation. Like you do very well with like just talking, like especially talking with people, and that's a huge part of being a host. Is that you don't just walk into someone's house and then they're there cooking at the table or cooking at the stove and then.
What about you?
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. You look tired. You need to go home and get some sleep.
My eyes are just heavy right now with and I didn't sleep great last night. But
Yeah. All right. Thanks for being an amazing friend. Thanks for being here.
Same.
Yeah.
Ditto.
It was fun having you over. I love having conversations with you. We need to do this more often.
Me too. It's fun.
Yeah.